Hello, hello,
Okay.
Chase.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the SaaSberry AI podcast. This is episode 2. My name's Chase. I'm the lead marketer at SaaSberry, and this is Steve. We'll let him introduce himself.
Hey, Chase. Thank you very much. Happy Friday. I am the CTO of SaaSberry. My name is Steve Boey, and I am, I guess, the lead geek of SaaSberry.
Nice. So today we're going to be talking about a lot of things from AI creation, AI videos to Microsoft Build and Web Summit. So yeah, let's get right into it then.
Right. So I'll kick it off. I'll talk
Okay.
about Microsoft Build, and this week has been a really big AI week. There's Microsoft Build. There's Google I/O. Anthropic just came up with Claude Opus 4. Um, OpenAI has, I believe, had announced a new collaboration with Johnny Ive. There's been just packed with so many big AI things this week that I don't know where to start. But let's start with Build because, again, SaaSberry is our DNA is enterprise, and when it comes to enterprise, really Microsoft is synonymous with them, right? So one thing that came out of the many things came out of Microsoft Build this week, but one of the key things that came out was their vision of the agentic web. So what is the agentic web? Let's talk about it. So their vision of the agentic web is where AI is core and AI agents is going to be heavily involved in everything we do in the web, right? Just like how we use the web for interconnectivity, how we communicate, how we share thoughts, how we share, how we collaborate. Uh, Agents will use the web as a tool to enable us to do things on our behalf and to do things autonomously, right? If you think about how we do web searches right now, let's say you search for a keyword and you find the result and there, let's say, 10 sites you go to, and then you check each one out and you see which one answers the questions you want to what you were asking about. Well, in the AI world with AI agents, that's different. The AI is the knowledge broker. It does that curation for you. It gives you the one answer. It tells you and analyzes based on what your question is, not on the keywords. And that is essentially the agentic web, because agentic web is two things. The way we do web right now, we ask questions, but the other side of the coin is AI agents doing things for us, right? To do autonomous actions, to search things out for us, to book things for us, to execute payments for us when we need to. It will act with our permissions on our behalf, right? Sometimes with us in the loop, sometimes with us not part of the loop, right? And how that impacts enterprises is you're starting to see a lot of enterprises starting to automate how, or not just automate, how they allow agents now to do a lot of the work for them that are repetitive, right? And that, for example, proposal intake. The AI agent can take those proposals, analyze them, and provide recommendations so that the humans don't have to do that initial heavy lifting. But the humans are still part of that loop, right? And that takes hours and hours of time. That now the moves the proposal forward a lot faster and can be executed. Right? So and then So Chase, there any thoughts about that?
Yeah, the way that AI is growing in the AI agents, it seems to be a lot more than just a chatbot, which is what it was before. It seems to really be truly becoming intelligent, and they're being capable of doing tasks that only humans were able to do before, and they're able to take a lot of things in and be able to do them themselves. And it's pretty impressive what we're starting to see here.
Absolutely. Chase. So just to point out the obvious here, I am probably 2.5 decades older than you. So when I started my career, the
Yeah,
internet was just spinning up, right?
yeah, yeah.
And that was that big gigantic moment where it absolutely change fundamentally how we work as a society. And Chase, this is, in for your cohort,
Hmm.
the smartphone was one of those events, and I really think that AI is also a big part of what will be uh, uh, a change in how we operate as a
Yeah.
society going forward.
I think I was born after all the big events, like when the internet really became a big thing, and when, like you just said, the smartphone became a big thing. I was born after that, and I think this is the big first, like, big movement within the internet that AI is really gonna change everything for us. Yeah.
Absolutely, and when you have kids and when you're old enough, and you can say, I was there when AI
Yeah.
first became agentic.
True.
so,
My
so
kids won't even understand what it'll be like without it, right? So,
yeah, you're
yeah.
like, what's an 8 track?
Yeah.
It's like, what's a browser, Dad?
Exactly.
So, so the agent factory was another thing that another concept and number of releases and features that went along with it. So there's this thing called the Azure AI Foundry, as well as the Copilot Studio, and those are two big tools within the Microsoft space that allows you to orchestrate and build agents. Right?
Hmm.
And the big thing that was released here is it partly iterative, partly new. So
Hmm.
the iterative part is the fact that there are now a lot more agents, a lot more models that you can use. There was thousands of models before, but now they've kind of upped their game and added a bunch more. Right?
Hmm.
Some of those are Grok, Grok 3 that was released back in February. Now they are part of part of Azure AI Foundry and can use.
Hmm.
The other one is I think Flux,
Yeah.
which is part of Black Forest
Black
and
Forest
a
Labs. Yeah.
text to image generation model. So out of Germany and yeah and many more. Right.
Hmm.
So what does that mean? What it really means is that it democratizes how we use AI models, right? And AI models really are these by itself. They are just really smart packages. But once you add memory to it, and once you're able
Hmm.
to enable it within the context of a tool that you use within a use case, it becomes extremely powerful, and that's
Hmm.
key because you don't always want the same model, right? You want to be
Hmm.
able to different models, and so and part of that now is the I believe it's called a model router that they release as well. And model router helps take away the manual work you had to do before when you curated what model to use where. Now with model router, you can then use the AI that's built into Azure AI Foundry to help you select the right models to use when for specific use case, specific context, specific tooling, right? So, and speaking of tooling, they also released that they announced this a few weeks ago, where they said that Microsoft's going to standardize around MCP, but now they've also announced that they're also using the Google's open standard of A2A. So now MCP is for agents to use tooling, right? So tooling like browsing the web, executing bookings, etc., etc. These are things that agents are able to do, right?
Hmm.
But A2A allows agents to talk to each other and get each other to hand off work, so that if, let's say, like just in any kind of organization, let's say I'm in the marketing department, I do video production, and someone else does copywriting. The copywriter can then hand off work to the video production when in part of a project. Same way agents will be doing the same thing, and
Hmm.
they will leverage A2A. Microsoft has a framework to allow A2A to work within it really well, right?
Hmm.
And that is built into Azure AI Foundry, also in Copilot Studio.
So it's like a entire team doing different tasks and all working coherently, but they're all AI agents.
Absolutely. And we can, firms like SaaSberry have the ability to help organizations build this family of robots and or worker of robots or agents really,
Hmm.
uh, and make sure that the proper guardrails are there, that they pull in the human to have the human in the loop when they need to, and to
Yeah.
be able to carry out autonomous actions that when they need to. And a lot of times humans don't need to be in the loop.
Yeah.
They agents can do work just like you would trust some a junior staff member to be able to execute certain things. They don't ask you, "Can I send this email? Can I type? Can I put in my own signature? Can I go get this file from somewhere?" You don't need them to keep asking you that. They can just
Hmm.
execute it autonomously. That's how we help organizations, enterprises understand where that line of delineation is and how we actually build these agents to be able to do those things for them.
Yeah. So if you have an agent doing marketing, if you have an agent taking care of paperwork, if you have an agent accounting and doing all these things, all these different tasks, where do you think you would definitely need a human to be in place then?
Absolutely. That's a great question. The key here is this. Think about it in the same way you think about an organization as it is now. Right? So let's say if you have a staff of three junior staff members, right?
Mm,
You would again give them the ability to do stuff within a very defined set of roles and responsibilities. But when it hits a certain point, you would there are safeguards in place right now that says you can't do this. You have to talk to your boss, right? Let's say in your example was marketing, right? Marketing,
hmm.
uh, you would trust your staff member to draft up a press release, right?
Hmm.
But you wouldn't necessarily trust them to release it right away.
Yeah,
You
that's
want
true.
them to say, "Hey, take a look at this," and you go, "Okay, well that sounds good, and let's release it." Or if you ask them to create a graphic for that very press release, right?
Hmm.
And but you want to see first and say, "Hey,
True.
this is actually something that will not get us in trouble. Is actually something that's good." And you know what? Consistently, AI agents and AI models are hallucinating so much less now.
Hmm.
So if you think about how it compares to a human doing that same role,
Hmm.
I think that the standardization of trust, of the ability for it to execute at a consistent level well is far higher now. So we can then go do this. It is within your role, but when you hit this spot, you need to ask the human.
So it's kind of like if you had a marketer and he went and did some work, you'd want him to bring it to you, and then you could just say like, change this, or I like what you did here, and then you can pretty much tell that to the AI, and then that's how the human would come in, kind of thing.
Absolutely, that's exactly right. So moving forward. So one last thing I want to talk about is the agentic RAG that they introduced into Azure AI Search. And ever since we started building agents, Azure AI Search was very much a part of it. And the reason is that it allows us to kind of ingest a lot of multimodal work. And when I say multimodal, I'm talking about structured, unstructured documents, talking about images, etc., etc. So you have vector searches and semantic searches for the text. But what they did was now they've kind of integrated a lot more agentic RAG, which makes it more intelligent, right? A lot of the heavy lifting we used to have to do to make sure that the indexing is correct when it comes to results, or when the layer you have to do when you come to inference that is reasoning over the right data. A lot of the heavy lifting is now narrower and less, right? It's
Mm,
thinner. We can then get to building an agent far faster, and
yeah.
we can rely on the results far better, right?
Hmm.
Greater level of confidence, and that's very very important in an enterprise. So and so that is the one other thing that really stood out for me in the announcements this week. So
Hmm. Nice.
all right, so hey, you know what? This is actually a great opportunity for us to segue into your AI adventures this week. So,
Sweet.
and I know that you've done some pretty impressive videos. So talk to me about it.
Yeah, so when it comes to AI creation and a bunch of AI creativity, I've really been diving into the AI video. So I've been able to use things like Gemini and Kling AI where I've been able to create AI videos. A lot of them you've seen online. And in the last week, we've seen a large growth in AI video. We're seeing them be able to create sound and be able to have people talk now, which is pretty impressive. And you can see videos on Twitter, on YouTube, where
Mhm.
these AI videos, the people within the video are speaking and it looks real. And it's almost the way it's growing. Pretty soon here, we're going to not even be able to tell the difference between AI and what is real. So that's pretty crazy. And it really has been blowing my mind.
So when you shared, you shared a couple of those videos with me, and I saw those samples. It was again those were generated in uh, um, uh, I believe oh, what's the name of it?
The program VO3
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Flow.
VO3 using Flow.
Yeah.
Yes, it's in the highest subscriber subscription level package right now with Google. But the not just the videos themselves, the hyperrealism in the videos, how accurate it is. You
Hmm.
can literally see the accuracy of the facial features as they change and intonation change, and the text that you can you the narration that you can add to the videos, um, or the I guess the speech for each of these characters in the videos.
Hmm.
The limit is really your imagination and your ability to kind of storytell and build. And for someone like you who's creative, I can see how you you can make something far better, really reduce that production cost, right? and
Hmm.
and get to a clean release far sooner
Hmm. For
than
sure.
you could before, right?
Yeah. And even something as simple as, or not simple, but something like even making short films or making type of film like that. Um, Somebody that has lower quality or lower budget technology or like cameras and stuff is able to create a
Yes.
movie production film now. You could take a video of you sitting on a bench in a normal city and take out the trees, take out the
Yes.
use AI to take out the trees, use AI to change the buildings into a futuristic cyberpunk city. And you'll be able to do this with just AI, no editing, and even FX like explosions. So somebody with
Yes.
less like capabilities, less technology can just film themselves and make a full production movie out of just AI prompts.
Yes.
Uh,
I remember when back when things like Lord of the Kings, sorry, Lord of the Rings were released, and they talked about the impressive CGI that went into how realistic the fire was and
mhm.
how long it took frame by frame. That's we're in a whole different world now. I can tell from just talking to you, your sheer excitement of you
Mhm.
being able to leverage these tools to be able to tell the story you want to tell very quickly, and you're just limited by your imagination and how many stories you want to tell, right? And this are exciting times, like really exciting
Mhm.
times, and I can see how it's totally relevant to and how important it is to enterprises because enterprises at the end of it, all enterprises need to tell a very coherent story when it comes to their products. The faster you can tell that story, the better.
Mhm.
But the faster also means that you can iterate on those stories, right?
Mhm.
You can tell the stories that you really want to convey, and you can get the feedback you want and pivot very quickly if it's not resonating. So
And it's not really like I don't think AI is gonna be replacing or like being 100% full control of the creativity. It's kind of like back in the day with the Star Wars movies. They had the actors in the little set and they were walking across a bridge or something, but the
mhm.
background was a painting or the characters in the background were stop motion. And now you're just taking that and make changing it to AI. So you still have your creativity. You're still making the set and the movie and the ideas, but you're just taking what they would have used for stop motion and paintings and stuff, and it's just becoming AI now. So you're just using it for the extra creativity.
Absolutely. Humans are still in the middle of this, right?
Hmm.
I see a lot of people who use AI for their research and to come up with ideas and stuff like that. But guess what? It's coming up with these ideas for you to curate, to
Hmm.
find out, this will not be an idea that works. This is not the wrong type of storytelling. Go iterate it. Guess who's doing the iteration? It's you, the
Hmm.
creator. The creator is still the center, still the most powerful person, and the creator who knows how to leverage these tools are the creators who will forge ahead and tell greater stories, bigger stories, better stories. Absolutely.
Exactly. Do
Yeah.
you I have a question. Do you think that if they made a movie that was 100% AI, so like they just put in 100 prompts and made an entire movie script all 100% using AI, do you think yourself and people would be more interested or just as interested in watching that or liking that content, or do you think they would still want the human creation within it? Do you know what I mean by
So
that?
absolutely, and I think my answer is just that uh, the many years from now, we will go. Are you serious? There used to be a producer sitting, a director sitting in the room while they filmed that movie. Wow, that's really quaint, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that day will come. Nobody's going to stop AI from evolving and changing how we produce, how we tell stories.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing the same thing over the last 100 years, and that same thing will continue to happen. Just like when Charlie Chaplin created those non talking movies. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Look at where we are now, and how we evolved to this point is through using these tools. And yes, I would absolutely be interested in those because the storytelling is still from the person who wrote the script, who thought about what type of story they want to tell, the mood, the setting, the twists and turns, the character building. All these are still with the creator, and that
Mm-hmm.
I'm there to see the story. I'm there to see that creativity, and that is not being taken away.
That's true. You're right. The
Yeah,
creativity will always be there.
yeah, absolutely. So, I think we really should move on to talk about the Web Summit. And
Sounds good.
so the Web Summit is coming up this coming week. I guess they start in 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, I believe, is and for 3 days.
Hmm.
I may be wrong with those dates. So, but I do know it's right over the all of next week.
Hmm.
Um, so what is the Web Summit? Last year it was in Toronto for the North American Web Summit. It's a global conference. They have it in I guess there's one in Europe and one in the Middle East, and it is a very big conference that pulls together uh, everything that has to do with the web, and by extension, how technology has evolved when it comes to the web. And this year, when I looked at all the sessions, it's heavy on AI, right?
Hmm.
And what technology showcase isn't heavy in AI these days, right? So they're all heavy with AI. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm the the thoughts exchange is still key when it comes to AI because AI is still in its early stages,
Hmm.
right? Yes, we've evolved and grown so quickly. The models are so much more sophisticated, even compared to this time last year. They're
Hmm.
so much more capable. The capability of using tools are so much greater. Their ability to make good, solid decisions autonomously is so much greater. Uh, but we're still early in how AI is evolving.
Hmm.
So it's really good to kind of hear from experts what their thoughts are,
Hmm.
how they feel the future will unfold, and how it applies to the web. Because again, agentic web, the web will be a very critical piece of infrastructure, a tool for the agents to operate in. So now, Chase, you'll be with me next week because
Yeah.
your dad is laid up. My business partner Chris will be laid up next week from a
Hmm.
surgery, and so you'll be my sidekick at the Web Summit. What do you look forward to?
I'm super excited to just see what it's like and be in an environment like that around people that are very passionate about creating and innovating. I'm excited to see other startups that and see what direction and what things they're focusing on, what their niche is, and see what the majority of people are excited about, and what they're investing in. I'm just excited to see the difference between all the opinions, and I feel like we're going to be able to get a larger insight on the
Yeah.
topics rather than what we see online and just basically on YouTube, just the basic things. I feel like
Yeah.
it'll be a bigger, deeper understanding.
And like we're really in the last few years we've been very much insular in many ways because we attend a lot of conferences remotely, and every time I get an opportunity to attend a conference in person, that human
Mm-hmm.
touch is still very, very important. It sparks innovation, it sparks collaboration, it sparks
Mm-hmm.
a great genuine exchange of ideas when you're within, you know, 3 feet away from the person you're talking to, 5 feet away talking from a person in a group, exchange of ideas, exchange of thoughts in a very transparent way, because
Mm-hmm.
that is how we forge forward. That is how we understand each other in a very
Mm-hmm.
clear way, right? And so I'm really looking forward to it. I think there'll be a great experience. So
Yeah, I think it'll be very super important to the being able to talk and hear different opinion from everybody in the same space or similar
right,
space. I feel like it'll
absolutely.
be very important.
And I think that's the wrap for us.
Yeah, I think so too.
So awesome. Well, thank you, Chase, and I hope we do this more often.
Yeah, me too. Guys, everybody listening, thank you for tuning in. We hope you tune in again, and we're gonna have lots of different people on the podcast talking about different things in different uh, places, different environments of AI and technology. So we're excited to do that, and we'll see you again.
Great. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.